own problem is this. My own problem is this. In fact, I think it's the entire triangle. It's a triangle. There's a great provision in the Constitution, and this I'm talking to the security forces, that in carrying out their activities, they must do it in accordance with the Bill of Rights. The police and the security have no basis for violating the Bill of Rights on the basis that they are carrying out a security operation. Indeed, that is the time when a good government is distinguished from a bad government. That even in a situation of war, you should be respecting human rights. And I'm so scared that in carrying out this security operation, property is still being destroyed. Yes. Is that compliance with the Constitution? No. That people are dying and animals are being killed. This problem in Laikipia is not about the Senate, because we know where those responsibilities lie. A committee of this Senate and the Senate cannot carry out a war or cannot go there and fight in the defense of the nation. They are proper institutions that are answerable. And me, I'm seeking an answer, because the problem of Laikipia is not coming today. If in this crescent of Baringo, Samburu, Laikipia, over the years, and it's not a matter of this thing happening this month or 2 months, for the last 20 years, yes, the problems have persisted in Laikipia. Yes, yes. Are we using the appropriate tools? Because, sometimes guns don't work. Don't work. You can go there with tanks and guns. Even the Americans have known in Afghanistan, the best war machine in the world is from the United States of America. Look at the way they have left Afghanistan. So I want to advise the government, really, that in carrying out the security operation in Laikipia, they must talk to the people in Laikipia. Yes. And find out and make them players in trying to resolve that problem and resolve it for once and for all. Because if we cannot resolve an internal security situation, what about if you are under attack from our own neighbors? That within our own people, we cannot be able to control that process. So one of the things that we must look into is the government to be accountable. What's happening in Laikipia? They cannot, in fact, there's always a convenience, like they have said in Laikipia also, that it is politicians who are causing the problem in Laikipia. That is an excuse. Yes. It could be the administration. Why always politicians? Yeah. And no single politician has been arrested and convicted of carrying out those kind of activities in Laikipia. And I know all the time we are always available for arrest. Yes. Yeah, when they want to arrest politicians, they're always arrested. Yes. Yeah. And in Laikipia, they've said many times, and even this time, they are saying it is the politicians. So it is not the politician. It is a real security situation. And there are models internationally, best practices, that when you have this kind of security situation, how to deal with it, what kind of instruments and tools to use. And therefore, I am hoping that the Senate will now look at where the responsibilities lie. Because whatever is happening in Kenya today, my position is that the government of the day must be accountable to the people. It must be accountable. Poor Outa, how would Outa resolve the problem in Laikipia? How would he? How would he? If the Senate cannot get their allowances together, how will it solve the problem in Laikipia? You're asking for the impossible. So it is the institutions in place that must be brought to book by the Senate. And by the way, there is never a war situation where elected leaders cannot go. In Iraq, In Afghanistan, we have seen legislators going in the war front and journalists going to the war front. Even here in Ethiopia, one of the senators, Senator Kunz, was sent by Biden to go and monitor the situation in Tigray. And here we are barring politicians. How can we ensure to the country that the security forces are being accountable to the people of Kenya if you are not allowed to go there? We can observe the protocols, as we always do. And I plead with this Senate, and I plead with Senator Cheriot. I think you are bringing valid points, but it may make us now forget. In fact, I think the person who was watching, somebody sent me a message here as you're speaking. It looks like now it is us. We're beginning to blame ourselves on a thing that does not belong here. It only belongs here on the basis that we should bring those people to account. Yes. And I'm hoping, Mr. Speaker, on this one, yes, on the situation in Laikipia, don't back down. If these people are required here, let's make a position on this one. Full house. Yes. With all those ministers and the Inspector General to come here. And if they can't come, it'll mean we are prepared to draw conclusions. If we are not prepared to run this nation in accordance with the Constitution, and the Constitution says how it should be run, that these ministers are accountable to us, they can be summoned anytime. Yes. So any minister that does not want to come to the Senate is in violation of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. And they should not be telling people of Kenya how Kenya should be ruled. They should take lessons or be taken to these many places they go to. Yeah, I mean, some people are, when we see good things happening in other places, we send statements congratulating them. But we don't want to apply the same standards in this country. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, this country, we are now at a very critical stage. We are at a very critical stage. And I know politics is always very attractive. But if it does not have rules, even if you have a Messi in the team, and you have 4 or 5 balls, Messi has not learned how to play a football match where you're using 5 or 6 balls. There must be only 1 ball. And in these 10 months, these 10 months, we can make a lot of things change, or we can destroy a lot of things. Yes. And if we are for destruction, woe unto us. And I'm asking those who are wielding executive power, this is the time to think and reflect. Seriously. Seriously. You can bring a house down in 10 minutes, but building it will take 100 years. So let us listen to all of us. We are all Kenyans, and let's apply the rules of the game. Mr. Speaker, I plead with you that because of what Senator Lelego has brought before the House, that it should be dealt with urgently, and these ministers should come here earliest middle of next week, so that not only do we question them on the committee is going to bring its report, so that we can deal with the same issues on debate after these ministers come here to tell us about what they are doing in Laikipia. And if need be, Mr. Speaker, you can think about another visit to Laikipia by not only the Security Committee, but whoever that the House thinks should be there, so that, I remember one time when we went to Uasin Gishu, when we were sitting there, the people in Uasin Gishu were very happy that a full platoon of senators were there trying to deal with their problems. I think on the maize issue, it was not just the committee, it was many members who are ready and willing. And if you are ready and willing, all to go to Laikipia, so be it.